Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Andrea Huck. So today is the very last day of our 2-week challenge, with me at least, but don't worry, we're going to have another whole set of challenges next week on Monday. So welcome to everyone in the chat. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Friday. We've got Lewis, Cindy, Oxa, Jack. Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. He said this set of challenges flew by. It really did. It was crazy, fast 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and hop on over to behance.net/challenge/XD and we will wrap up these 2 weeks. All right, so today challenges or registrations for the challenge have closed, but you can still join us over on Discord to get notified of what the new challenge is next Monday. So of course, if you are new here, welcome. So how it works is that each day I give you a new challenge prompt and I encourage you to design along with me. So be sure to join our community chat in Discord. We've got about 27,000 of you guys over there now, so lots of fun stuff going on over there. And of course, watch our daily live show every day at 11:30 Pacific time. And we're going to take a break over the weekend, so I hope you get some rest. And lastly, be sure to share your work when you're done each day on Discord or on Behance or on both. Make sure you share with the keyword XD Daily Challenge so we can find you and give you some feedback if you like it. All right, so let's scroll down, see what we've been working on. Look at all this hard work, all these challenges. So today is the very last day, and what I want you guys to do is design a weather app with colors that change according to the weather or the time of day. So this will be a fun one. We're going to mess around with blending modes, and you can use effects like Auto-Animate to prototype the color changes. So yeah, gonna be a really fun one. Of course, if you want to hop on over into Dropbox to get that starter file, you can download it right up there. And of course, if you missed any of the challenges, that's totally fine. You can rewatch them with the blue links right here. And of course, if you'd like to be notified about any of the future XD challenges, you can subscribe right here. And let's go ahead and hop on over into Discord. You can click that join us button if you're not already a member. So if you want to see when we're going live, you can check the schedule in this channel. And if you want to see just what the new daily prompts are for our daily challenges, you can check in the Creative Challenge channel. And of course, we've got lots of awesome designs being posted here in the current challenge channel. I'm going to look at some of these at the end of the stream today, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Yeah, lots of awesome designs. You guys have been so busy this series, so really good job. Past challenges, if you're still working on anything there, you can, from a past challenge, you can post it in here. And anything from just your portfolio or just design related that you want feedback on, you can post it in here. And yeah, you can just see when the mentors are online. Try to post when they're online. You can see it's green if we are available. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on into my starter file. So you can download this as well on Dropbox. And like I mentioned, last day. So let's try to make this our best one yet. Like I mentioned, today we're going to focus on a weather app, and I'm going to be using blending modes. So this is relatively new in XD. We did not used to have this. Used to have to use the blending modes in Illustrator and then like copy them over into XD, but now you can do it right from XD. So that's one thing that I've been really excited about. So I'm really excited for this one. Below that, we've got some inspo, just some different weather apps. They kind of look, all very similar, but basically I encourage you to have some sort of overview at the top, just saying what the actual temperature is at any given moment. Maybe have the location. You can use some little icons for, if it's sunny or cloudy or nighttime. But basically just show like a timeline of the temperatures. You can do it horizontally or vertically if you want to scroll through that way. Yeah, feel free to have fun, but we're going to focus on the blending modes. And then below that, we've got some resources. You can check out the tutorials, some of the places that I like to find tutorials. Icons, those are some that I like to use, and photos and mockups below that. And of course, be sure to share on Discord and Behance. This would be, if you have done all the challenges, this would be a really nice time to make like a presentation on Behance, a nice case study of all of your collection of challenges. So I encourage you to do that. So, all right, I just have 2 artboards today, and I'm not gonna do a whole ton of like different artboards for prototyping because I really just want to focus on the day to night experience. So I've got a few assets already laid out, and we're going to be using the blending modes. I have some just some directions down here to help you guys just follow along as we go. So I'm going to start with the background, just a simple white background. Doing this on mobile because I've been doing a lot of desktop sites this challenge, so I wanted to just keep it mobile this time. And it's really important that as we are designing, especially for this one, that we name all of our layers, because for Auto-Animate, it's really important when you're switching from artboard to artboard that it is able to keep up with whatever, layers you're connecting. So I'm going to start at the top and just give sort of an overview. So we just have, simple menu icon, whatever the location is, and an icon for like the temperature or the time of day. I might use, a moon for later in the day, and then the actual temperature. And let's name this as well. We'll just call this top. Copy this over to the night. And the cool thing about this that I've already prepared is I'm going to use Auto-Animate as well here to just kind of scroll through, kind of like a slot machine, scroll through this temperature. So it'll scroll at sort of different times. I'm going to wait until we do a little bit more of the prototyping to do that particular prototype or that particular animation. At the bottom, I've already picked out this illustration. So I didn't know that you can find these on Adobe stock, but this is so cool. So I was just searching let's see what I was searching. Night day landscape illustration. And they have a ton of different vector illustrations because I needed something to kind of fill up the bottom of the page. And this was just an Illustrator file. And then you can just copy it all super quickly into XD, and all of these are individual pieces. So that was super easy. And then I just added the little hills in the background. So that was fun. Okay, below this, in this area is where I want to focus on. So I have this little grid, and pretty simple, just on the x-axis, we've got the temperatures. On the y-axis, we have the times of the day. And I mean, you can add more if you want, but I feel like most temperatures, at least around me, it's between 50 to 80. So maybe if the variation gets more, it can switch instead of every 10 for a line, every 2 or 20 for a line. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. And what I want to do is first just to align it on the right, and then I want to slide this over, and then as it's sliding I want the background to change colors. So we're going to use a bunch of different blending modes for that, and the cool thing is we don't have to go in and change the colors of all the houses and trees and everything, even though we could because they're all individual vector elements, but I'm just going to do an overlay blending mode, and that will change it all for us. So let me copy this bottom illustration over, and I'm going to copy this, make sure I name this properly. I'll call this graph. Paste this over, and then again, just going in, double clicking in there, and we can drag this all the way over to 7 p.m. and our numbers are going to rotate. So now we can hop on into the prototype tab. And I'm going to just click on, it's super easy, just click on your slider, drag it over to your second artboard, and we're going to use the drag trigger, and the action will be Auto-Animate. So let's just preview this, what we've got so far, before we go in and add all of the like blending modes. So boop, look at that. Perfect, super easy. We just added the mask for those numbers moving up and down, and the drag trigger for that little slider. And I do need to make it be able to go backwards, so just gonna add the same thing, going back, the drag trigger, and on Auto-Animate. Okay, so now I want to add some of the background elements, and I need to use a few layers of this, so I'm gonna try to go slowly so you guys can just understand what layers I'm using. So first, what I want to do, let me go back into the design tab, is I want to copy this background, and I want the background to change from white to blue. So I'm just gonna copy it, paste it in here, and send it almost to the back, just right above, whoops, let me compress these a little bit, right above our white background. And again, it's helpful that I named all the layers, otherwise it might be getting a little confusing. So the reason you might be saying, Andrea, why can't you just change this color to blue? Well, let me show you what happens when we do that. So I'll select that. Let's say I hadn't added that one already. So when I, let me select this artboard and I'll show you. So when I drag this over, you'll notice that it's not a gradual transition, because it has to be an opacity like changing from 0 to 100 instead of just a totally different color. Because you'll see even when I start clicking on it, that's not what I'm meaning to do. So I wanted to just go from white to blue very gradually. So let's change this back to white. And we can add in this extra layer. And what I'll do, send this to back, copy this, and paste this over here and send it to the same place. So what I'll do is just change the opacity to 0%. Now when we preview this prototype, the background goes gradually. Okay, so that part looks great. So it's starting to look like it's turning nighttime, looks good. Now what I want to do is change the color of the text. So I want the text to be white. So I need to change all of these colors. Go into the mask for each of these. Change the little sun icon color. Our menu. It's just not enough contrast. I should have made this repeat grid, but not enough contrast if it's just black on blue. So making these all white so it stands out a bit more. Same with the slider. So I'll just make the slider the inverse. Zoom in a bit. And that centerpiece will be blue. Okay, so now that looks good. And what I want to do is add another layer on top as a blending mode on top of everything, so that it still like doesn't look exactly like it would at nighttime. In real life, all of these elements down here would change to different hues as well, since it's dark and we won't have all the saturation. So what I want to do is add a second layer just on top, and this is where we'll add the blending mode. So I'll just go to, let me check my note, hue. We'll change it to hue. And you can, I encourage you to like mess around and play with all of these blending modes, because you can make some really cool things. But hue works for us because we just want all of these elements to be like different shades of blue since it's nighttime. So let's go ahead and copy this, and in order to make Auto-Animate, we need to paste it as well on the first artboard, and then we can just make this 0%, so it'll be gradual. And there's one extra thing at the end that I need to change with the graph, and you'll see why in a second. So let's go ahead and preview this. Okay. So the color, we'll notice at the bottom, that looks good. That's changing gradually from green to blue. But now the text is not going gradually. So we actually, this is a bit of a workaround, but we actually need to change the text color as well. So, or give it like a blending mode, if you will. So I'm just gonna scoot this over a little bit. I don't want to lose it, so I'm just gonna keep it there. So what I want to do is select this, just the graph, and I'm gonna make it an exclusion. And you'll notice that it turns to orange. I'll do the same thing with this up here. And let's preview this so far. We're gonna need to do another little thing, but we want to try to make it going gradually from black to white. Okay, so now at least it's going gradually, but it turned pinkish and we don't want that. So we need to change that as well. So, and again, this is a little workaround. You don't like have to change the text to go gradually if you don't want to, but I think it's kind of helpful. So what we just need to do is go into, let's drag both of those over. And since we have a few blending mode layers, we just need to click into our graph and change this so this is green. Just kind of want to match the same color, make it a little darker, and then same with this one. Drag these over a bit. Just the orange we need to change to like a blue, greenish. Make it a little darker. There we go. Okay, so that should be good. Got too many little layers here. Drag this back over. Drag that back over. So now let's test it out, see how it looks. Okay, so now I just need to change the pink. That's the only thing. Drag this over so we can see a little better. And where's the other path? Okay, this is it. So let's just change this to green as well. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. That'll be better. Now we can drag this back down, drag this one over again, and drag the second layer over again. So now, when we slide it over, it still stays green at the beginning, which is what we want. And you can like finesse those colors to match exactly if you want. And the text also changes gradually from black to white. So that is perfect. Just need to update these edges a little bit. Things are falling off. Give this a bit more of a rounded corner. We can bring this back, and bring this back. Okay, so many layers on this one. All right, so let's go ahead and Command S to save. If you want to, you can make an MP4 to share as the prototype on your Behance page. I think those look really nice instead of just static always. So what you do is just press that record button, and then you'll see this little indicator and you can start dragging. There we go. And then when we press stop recording, it'll give us our little just area to save. And I'll just call this Weather App Day 9. Okay, that looks good. Or if you want to export just as individual PNGs, you can go to Export Selected. So yeah, I just encourage you guys to mess around with those blending modes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on Discord or Twitter. But yeah, try to play with just like adding one element in the background and adding at least like another layer on top with hue or color, any kind of blending mode you want, and see how you can auto-animate it. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on over into Behance and see. I'm gonna open my project and we'll go ahead and upload this. So let's see, we're on the last day. And we've just created our little MP4 file. So we can, Where did I save that? I may have saved it in the wrong folder. That's okay. So I'll upload this later, but the main thing I want to show you guys is in settings, make sure that you go over to your discoverability tab and add that keyword XD Daily Challenge so we can find you and be able to give you feedback. So now I'm going to hop on over. I think I'm actually going to go into Discord to review your work because I usually go to Behance. So let's see what you guys are creating. Let's see. So this one's by Sasso, and this was day 5. All right, that looks lovely. What was this? Oh, the journaling app. Love the color. Yeah, the UI looks great. The text maybe is a little bit small, or at least it could use some more spacing maybe between the lines since it makes it a little hard to read. But the layout is very just visually pleasing and makes sense to me. Dark mode, very nice. Maybe add a little bit more contrast between the black and the white text so it's a little harder to, or easier to read. But that looks awesome. Thank you, Saida. Let's look at another one. See what we got. Okay, this one's by Jessica, and this was day 3, the online marketplace. Okay. We've got the map in the background, and we've got our little hover for a little bit more info about each item. Ooh, and chat. Very nice. So we can hover over each little circle. That looks good. And we see the pop-up. I'm not sure why the pop-up appears twice. Oh, I guess because there's more information in the larger one. I would maybe just make this section go all the way up, because right now it seems like 2 different pop-ups. Let's see. Oh, let's look at the prototype. Nice. Look at that hover. Beautiful. Oh, and then you get the chat pop-up in case you need any help. Very nice. Okay, so you pop up twice to get into another one. Yeah, I would maybe just keep that second pop-up static all the time. Nice job. That was Jessica. Thank you for sharing, Jessica, if you're watching. All right, let's look at another one. Event calendar. Awesome. So this was the one from yesterday, and this is by Richard. I think I saw Richard in the chat today. So hello, Richard. Event chat. Or event calendar. Okay, here's a demo. Let's look at this. Happy November. Find some events near you. So we can either view calendar or list. That's a nice way to do that. Just like a toggle at the top. Ooh, look at that auto-animate. Drag down. Very nice. And it expands and contracts. I like that. One suggestion is when you're going from this page to the next page. Let's see it. Yeah, I would just keep these static instead of having them animate down. But other than that, this looks great. I love your layout with the toggles. Yeah, this is great. Awesome. All right. Thank you for sharing that one, Richard. Okay. Well, I think that's about all the time that we have left, but I'll continue to look at these on Discord and give you guys some feedback. So be sure to post the rest of your designs from today. All right, guys, that wraps up our 2-week daily creative challenge. Thank you all so much for sticking with me to the very last day. You guys are awesome. You've been having great designs. So be sure to stay tuned. In about 5 minutes, we're going to have the Designing XD segment with Ainsley Wagner. And next week, we will have a brand new set of challenges with a whole new host. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!